story for me? I'll trade you some candied ajalenok nuts. I made them myself. I think the answer to that should be pretty obvious. You should be able to tell from just one look. Like when you peer into a crystal clear lake and you can see all the fish swimming around inside of it. It's very pleasant here. Even the wind brushing against my toes feels soft and gentle. So of course, I love it. As much as a little bird might love exploring the forests and mountains, tasting new and different fruits every day, after a long flight, it still needs a place to land and rest its weary wings. So I'm glad that I can roost here in your nest for a while. Also, it's much more spacious here than a birdcage. Thank you for being so kind. I know that you mean it, and I'll make the most of my stay here. I'm here! Do you have a new story for me? Sure, but instead of diving into story time, let's talk about what's troubling you. I'm sure you're wondering how I knew. Well, your troubles are written on your face, silly. I'm always observing you, you know. You look as miserable as a lavender melon that's been struck by lightning. Don't lose heart. Sometimes you might feel like you're the unluckiest person in the world. But for all you know, it could also just be an unfortunate situation. Well, to use an analogy, let's say a Rishbalan tiger ate a fox and got diarrhea. You can't know for sure whether the diarrhea was caused by eating the fox or by something inside the fox's stomach. Does that make sense? If Rishbalan tigers stopped eating foxes out of fear of diarrhea, they would have become extinct a long time ago. As long as the Rishbalan tiger keeps eating foxes, and as long as we keep living our lives, we'll experience all kinds of different situations. Fortunate, unfortunate, and everything in between. There, you're doing great. Have a head pat. I'm here! Do you have a new story for me? I'll trade you some candied ajalenok nut. May I start with a question? Do you really enjoy collecting things? Sometimes you remind me of a sumpter beast, plodding along with a big pack full of materials and supplies. I'm quite curious. You already have more than enough resources to last a lifetime. So why do you keep bringing everything with you? And why do you still collect even more during your travels? A habit? Oh, I see. So what about forging weapons, cooking, and making condensed resin? They're useful behaviors that benefit you. Is that why they've turned into habits as well? So what about making lots of friends, helping them solve their problems, and reading their letters from front to back? Are those habits too? Don't worry, I'm not trying to pry, and I wouldn't let something like that affect what I think of you. I know there are definitely good reasons for your behavior. I'm only asking out of curiosity. Since you are also driven by emotions, maybe you can understand my thoughts right now. I want to travel across this vast land with you, experience everything you enjoy, and do all the things you do. Yes, I thought so. Okay, that makes sense. People do sometimes act irrationally for the sake of pursuing their interests, like the forest boar that fell in love with a shroomkin. It changed its own form just to ensure the shroomkin's survival. In the end, they were eaten together as a delicacy. But that's besides the point. I don't feel one way or another about collecting, but since it's something you enjoy, I'd like to join in and see what it's like. I want to travel across this vast land with you, experience everything you enjoy, and do all the things you do. Will you indulge my curiosity? And will you accept my request? Then let's face the sun and pick the first mint we find. I'm here! Do you have a new story for me? Today's sunrise is the same splendid color as the breast feathers of a dusk bird. I'm really curious to find out what the first thing you'll do today is. I'm here! Do you have a new story for me? I'll try. Good night. Oh, why don't you take a final trip to the bathroom before bed? It will improve the quality of your sleep. Seems like very helpful advice, so are you gonna take it?